Trust your emerald heart. Be who you came here to be. Unlock your true potential. Hello and welcome to Trust Your Emerald Heart podcast. My name is Victoria Krzyvinskaya, beschoolspace. And today I'm going to share some story and information around the energy of the unseen. This recording was made during and before some religious ceremonies and events here in Bali, but also in India and in many other places. And before we go into the sharing, I would like to inform you about my attitude towards religion and spirituality in general. I do not judge any religions, although I see them as the crutches on the path of spiritual development. Because, for example, if you were brought up in the Christian beliefs and then suddenly you discover Buddhism or Hinduism or anything else that resonates with your heart, you go into that and it is beneficial for you for the time being. Although at some point you might understand that even that is not pure, is not for the highest good of all, and is also limiting you in a way. And I want to share my experience so that you understand. I was brought up in Soviet Union, and in that area the religion was not strong. In Soviet Union they had this attitude towards religion that it is dark, or it is bad, and they were destroying churches and they were not supporting religious rituals or anything in Soviet Union. And then with the time being, many people developed into atheists, into people who would call themselves that way, although they would believe in the highest power, yet not really devote themselves to any religions or any rituals or any beings or any people. And at the same time, with the time, the Russian Orthodox Church became stronger, and more people, especially in the moment of despair, would go into church and start being grateful and start devoting to some saints or to some icons of the Russian Orthodox Church. So me personally, I was not brought up in the religious family, and I had some relatives like a grand aunt who would be religious, although we would see her as such, yet in my understanding she was not really following all the traditions or all what I felt was religious in a way. And I had this clash inside of me, like how can people judge, how can people steal, or why do people need to name as a sin something that is not really sinful. Now I'm speaking about original sin and all this attitude towards sexual activities and the energy of such in general, and at the same time all sorts of violence, all sorts of judgment, all sorts of things which were there except for that. But I'm not here to blame or judge anyone or anything, so I'm just sharing my story. And when I was little, I felt a resonance with one church in the village, because it was quite beautiful, because I felt peaceful inside. But the rules, all the, like, you have to stay here, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have, all these rules were kind of something that I could not understand. Yet the rules are okay for controlling and manipulating of the society, right? And we know it now. At that point I couldn't really perceive. And then with time I just stopped attending, or never really had an opportunity to go deeper. As a teenager, I was interested in reading and exploring other cultures, and at some point I was attending some English language classes, and that was how I met some people from Utah, and those Mormons who were on the mission in Russia, and they were having the language classes in those areas where I was, and that is how I started coming to their classes and improving my language skills. And at the same time I was witnessing them in their own process. The language classes were separate from the mission work in a way, and they would invite you to Sunday events or something, but you didn't have to do that because you were not a part of their religious process. And once I tried attending, and I was completely shocked how the Russian interpretation of what they were saying and sharing was different from what it was originally in English, in their way of perceiving reality. And at that point, a seed of, I would say, doubt, but not really doubt, but interest started growing inside of me, because I thought, as a teenager, I was maybe like 13 or something like that, I thought that there is so much hidden in translation. There is so much hidden in the vision, in the true way of perceiving reality, and how limited the perception is, because you're given information in this language, or you're given information in these books, or in this religious group, or in this way of thinking, yet you do not see the whole picture. And it was interesting for me to explore. And then when with the time, I was not really following, I did, attend for Easter, for example, in Russian families, we have tradition of having egg fights and baking cakes and stuff, but at the same time people don't follow the Lent, or for example, for Christmas in Russian attitude is not an important holiday. The important holiday is New Year, which comes before Christmas. Russian Orthodox Christmas is on 7th of January. So it was very distorted, and the understanding of religion was very distorted for me. And at the same time, when I already experienced sexual abuse, when I already broke free from the system and went abroad to live and to do the healing which I am in at this moment still. At that point, when I landed in Bali, I saw and got exposed into Hinduism. And here in Indonesia, there are multiple types of religion, right? So most of the country is Muslim, and Islam is a big thing in other islands, yet Bali is the only island which is Hindu. So they have this special type of Hinduism here in Bali, which is different from Indian Hinduism, and all the mantras are a little bit adapted, all the scripts are a little bit different, and the original Balinese language is actually coming from Sanskrit directly, and it's much more difficult than Indonesian language in general. And I got exposed to Hinduism, but not very deeply. I just was introduced to some deities, to some gods and goddesses, to some religious beliefs, and I was learning and reading about those, and it was very different from the culture where I was brought up. But because I didn't have very much of the religious background, it was easy for me to adapt and to perceive it as such, like as a good thing for everyone. And at some point, I started being interested in Buddhism, and I started reading scripts, and I was introduced to some group who was exploring that. And because Buddhism is a philosophical study, it is a little bit different from just reading the book. You have to understand the philosophy of it. You have to understand what is the teaching. You have to learn many different things. And I was attending classes and practices, and I even took refuge in Buddhism, and then I was also learning about other things, and I was opening myself up to other things, and then I turned to learning cosmology. I turned to learning like galactic experiences and spirituality. And then at some point I realized that all these like religious things, they exist and they support people for the time being with their experience, but there are multiple levels. So for example, Balinese people, they believe in reincarnation, and it is something that is built into the system. Nobody doubts it, and obviously maybe you also believe in that, and I also believe in that. And at the same time, many Balinese people go to the temple to pray for a better reincarnation. And in my belief system at this moment, it is different now, because I don't pray for better reincarnation. I want to use this lifetime, the precious gift which I'm having, to accomplish my mission, because I understand that I don't want to be stuck in the samsara, so to speak, in the rebirth process, and do it over and over again. And this is like the moment when I came to understanding about what is religion in general, right? So religion is giving you rules and guidance and support in a way, but at the same time, it is kind of keeping you in this process. And if you understand that you are a galactic being, that you come as a starseed or a light worker to accomplish some mission, and you understand that, okay, you might have had many lifetimes here and timelines and karmic experiences, yet at this moment you are awake and aware, and at this moment you understand that you came for a mission, you also come into understanding that the religion is a limitation, because you brought something from home, from where you come from, to be your true authentic self. And the religion is a box where you might have belonged for some period of time, where you might have felt safe, where you might have felt even supported. But at the same time, these are the rules, the system, the matrix placed upon you so that you belong. And although it was supportive and you might feel grateful for the experience, it is not everything there is. And there is much more beyond. And you can spend a lifetime exploring different types of religions and searching for answers. Yet, I invite you to broaden up the perspective and to go beyond. If we see it this way, there is nothing but you and God. You can connect to the divine source, Prime Creator, directly and understand that you are a seed of love brought to this physicality to share something. Yet there were multiple distortions, multiple programs, and multiple limitations we are to overcome. When you do, you are nothing but love. And with that understanding, you can perceive the reality with pure love and compassion and understanding. But we have to overcome the spiritual ego. We speak about general ego, always, but spiritual ego is something that is there as well. When people grow, when they come to a particular understanding of something and start or stop doing something, like change their habit patterns, stop drinking alcohol or stop eating meat, or start meditating, or start having some sort of experiences or attitudes, they start judging others for not doing the same through the point of spiritual ego. And it's the same ego again. We don't want to be stuck in this. We don't want to be stuck in the judgment, in the limitation. We want to go beyond. What else is there? We don't judge anyone or anything for their attitudes in life. There is a whole variety of people believing different things and doing different things and living in their own matrix, the way they were told to live. And you are not able to change everyone, to ask them to redirect and believe in what you believe. No, you have to have compassionate heart to be able to have and accept this variety of people. Even within ourselves, we have multiple personalities, multiple attitudes, multiple beliefs, and sometimes this personas play out: the wounded self, the healer self, the traumatized, like all these kind of parts. And we have to come into wholeness. And as a humanity, we will only be able to come into wholeness when we take responsibility for our actions, for our attitudes, for our thoughts. And this is all possible, but you have to understand that there is something else. Not only what we see, but also something else. So continue with my sharing about the unseen to learn more, and reach out if you have any questions or comments. And let's go deeper. Start with return to the heart meditation, go into system reset if you need deeper reset, or come into personal sessions or mentorship program if you're ready. I will talk to you soon. Enjoy. Hello friends, this is Victoria, and many of you know that I live in Bali, and Bali is considered to be the planetary purification chakra. And I want to tell you about what I feel, what I experience, and what I suppose can be helpful to you so that you can pass this period effortlessly, gracefully, and easily. So it's not only about this particular period, but it's also applicable to any other period, in fact, but specifically to this one. So, as you might know, those who have ever been in Bali or heard about it, there is a so-called silent day. It's called Nyepi in here, and it's a day when airports are not functioning, when people are not allowed to speak or use electricity much, and it's also a day when we do not go outside and when we have to kind of be indoors and face ourselves, right? And for many people, there is like a big, on social media, like advertising and things for people to actually get away and buy packages and things, not to be alone and to be elsewhere with whoever, and things like that. I do not understand that or appreciate that, because I actually not anxiously, constantly, I am waiting for this day, because it's a day when I am able to just slow down, not rush anywhere, and just be with me, be myself, and look deeper into what I truly value and things like that. Yet there is something else I want to mention. And so on this day, or just before that day, people are buying and stocking food, like as if they cannot survive without a restaurant or, food delivery for just like one day. And as if there is nothing else they can do but eat, as if, they cannot be without entertainment. And it's just like silly. But anyway, this is just one day, okay? But so before that day, there is the monsters parade, the parade of they call it Ogo Ogo parade. For about a few months before this day, people, or like teenagers mostly, were creating and crafting papier-mâché, like from the paper, beautiful, well, they are actually very beautiful, the beautiful monsters. And while they were doing, they actually were also falling in love with their creations in a way. But the legend goes this way, that they are creating these monsters and the demons go into them actually. And then there is this parade where there is a lot of noise being made and, things like that. And then they are supposed to be burnt, and all the demons are supposed to be destroyed. Yet, obviously, in the modern world, they don't, burn the whole thing. They keep the favorite parts for the future, to use next year or something like this. They burn just a little bit. But anyway, the thing is that so next day, Nyepi Day, the Silence Day, it is believed that the monsters from the ocean come out for a revenge and come out to see who was kind of like torturing their like siblings or their other monsters. And they fly around and do not see anyone, do not find anyone. There is no smell of food, nothing, and the island kind of like purifies. And yet it is a legend, right? But it is something that is done every single year here in Bali. And in COVID time, there were several years when it was not done, and those years were intense. And on the thin layer, like the sparkles, like of like black magic and like all this like spirits and things, they are seen, very visible. It looks like lightning, but there is no rain and no thunder, and it's just like pew, 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 everywhere, and it's intense. And those who see, they see a lot. And it's not only about Bali, and this is important. There is also at the same days, the same time, like maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I forgot, so Nyepi is Monday, but this is like next few days. There is also the celebration Mahashivaratri in other places of the world, and many people, not only in India, they celebrate that. They connect with the demonic, not like, I wouldn't call it demonic, but connect with the dark energies, and then perform all this like kind of dance and things, and to in a way to alchemize and purify in the end. Yet here is the important thing, and this is the whole point I'm creating this today, is I want you to understand that we cannot deny or get rid, or like remove completely the dark energy, so-called, or shadow aspect of the self. Because if we do not take care of it, if we do not understand it, or if we suppress it, we will not be able to come into wholeness. Yet we do not want to give too much attention to that, because this is not what you want to embody, obviously. Like if you want to to act for the highest good of all and things like that. Although this is something that exists, and you have to be able to address it. You have to be able to understand that there is no light without darkness, and we don't want to be in this duality, good or bad, right or wrong. We want to come into wholeness, and we want to come into unity, into oneness, and then to be able to act through the heart, not because it is good, not because it is bad, but because it is from love for everyone. And this is a very important thing, because sometimes we want to act because of the programming of a good girl or a good boy, and we want to have this outside validation. Somebody says that, oh yes, he's a good boy, oh yes, he's a good girl, but yet we do not act from that. This is not why we should be doing things. The main motivation is love. The main motivation is the highest good intention. And this is a very different thing, because when you are acting only from people pleasing, from the good boy good girl programming, then the situation happens so that actually it shows you that you are not a good boy. You get sick, the other circumstances you didn't think about come up to the surface, you don't manage, and you fail, and you feel like totally not a good girl or a good boy. And this is a very interesting process of self-discovery, because when you ask yourself, do you actually need the outside validation for you to act from your heart? And then you feel like, oh, well, actually, no. My heart knows. My heart knows how I can, act for everyone. And also my heart knows how to guide me, and my guides are here, the angels are here, the dragons are here, everyone is here for the highest good of all, and I don't need anyone else from outside to tell me what is right, what is wrong, right? But the other important thing which I want to mention is about the alchemization and things like that. So when you start some spiritual practice, when you start doing something, you start like purification, you start like with sessions, you start with system reset, you start with meditations and things, it sometimes happens so that the situations get intensified. When you go into system reset, I spoke about it before, people sometimes report that the recalibration is not easy, because we have to face everything. We have to face our emotions, our uncomfortable situations, our triggers, and we can say our demons in a way, yet we don't call them demons, cancel, delete. And in that case, the situation is so like, you have all sorts of like mind control, mental factors, thoughts and things like that in your mind, which need to be purified, and they come to the surface for you to be able to make a different choice, for you to be able to address it, for you to be able to see it clearly as it is. And the other important thing is, and why I'm recording this, I'm so always saying why I'm recording this, like as if I need your validation. No, I actually want to speak, and that's why I'm recording this. But yes, the important thing is that, you have to learn how to observe the reality,
and how to see clearly what is happening and how to not absorb. You observe, but you do not absorb. So if you are full of anger, everything triggers you easily, you are on this emotional swing and blah, 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 what you're doing, you are not contributing to the global peace. You are contributing to the global house, to the global anxiety, and to all things like that. Yet when you take the responsibility and make a conscious choice, although the trigger happens and you accept yourself in this point of imperfection, this is who you are. This is who you are, and if you want to change, you make a conscious choice to transform yourself. You make a conscious choice to act from love. You make a conscious choice to be different, and this is what it is about. So I hope that next few days, and also in life in general, you just think about it, because it is very useful to start with coming back to the heart. And if you want to go deeper, there is Return to the Heart meditation in my meditation portal. It's a gift for all of you. Also, System Reset is available for those who need to purify the heart and harmonize past relationship or relationship trauma, or relationship with the families and things like that, overcome the loss of the loved one. And it's a very deep, multi-layered process where I'm holding your space in the chat. Also, you can order a personal transmission if you want a personal touch, or you can also go into the cleaning session or healing session or even mentorship. I am available and I will be happy to hold your space. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Please give me some emoji that you have listened to this so that I know how it lands. Have a good day.
Thank you for being a part of my experience and community, and for your interest to transform your life. My name is Victoria Krzyvinska, beschoolspace, and I am here to support you in your spiritual journey and to create a better reality together. Explore the footnotes available and opt in to download meditations and other offerings suitable for your needs. Reach out via email to ask me questions and to explore the possibilities to work together. If you found this recording useful, set up a high rating and share with those who might benefit from it as well. I will be happy to talk to you soon again. Subscribe not to miss the publications. I love you, Victoria Krzyvinska.